All right, let me start off by reading the remote meeting script and we'll go from there. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote means in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body as well as members of the public may access this meeting via virtual means. Participants may access this meeting through the remote meeting link as posted on the meeting agenda and through the town's online calendar. When required by law or allowed by the chair, persons wishing to provide public comment or otherwise participate in the meeting may do so by raising their hand or otherwise signaling their intent to speak. This meeting will be recorded. Please take care to mute your microphone unless you have been recognized by the chair. We will now confirm attendance of members. Please respond with present if you're on the call. Matthew Ronka.
Present.
Thank you. Elise Mayalowski.
Present.
Thank you. Lucia Lopez.
Present.
Thank you. Parker Happ.
He's not joining, Chair.
Okay. Michael King.
Present.
Vikasath Prati. All right. Peter Mimo.
Present.
All right. Amna Dewan. And Rob Benson is present. All right. Staff. Aniri Patel.
Present.
You're obviously here. And Lori St. John.
She will join us later.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just jump into the minutes for the November 3rd, 2025 meeting.
We did not receive any comments or changes on November 3rd minutes. So I'm guessing.
Does anyone have any objections to move forward with basically a motion to? So let me make the motion or entertain the motion. I'd like to entertain a motion that the board approve the minutes of November 3rd, 2025 as written.
So moved.
I'll
Second.
Either one. Take your pick, Rob.
Matthew with the motion, Michael with the second. All right, roll call vote. Matthew Ronka,
Yes.
Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is yes. If somebody sees Amna or Vic join, just somehow wave me down, let me know. All right. Next thing on our agenda is to review a process determination for 8589 West Main Street. So where we are is, and the applicant can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're at a point where the proposal is to just restripe the existing parking lot, stay at 42 spaces, fundamentally move a handicap space, and this requires restriping of parking lot lines. And I think as a board, we need to decide if this is something that's in the planning board's that we should be involved in, or if this is not. I can just start off by saying my opinion. We typically, like, I haven't been on the planning board or haven't seen this be determined by the planning board in Hopkinton, where we're involved in restriping of parking lot lines. Like, once the project is built, the as-built plans have parking lot determination, but if they were to restripe a parking lot years later, they got their driveway, if their parking lot seal coated and restriped the lines, like, we wouldn't be involved. Does anyone want to think we should be, want to have a different opinion? I think that in this, my opinion is the status quo of the planning board not being involved in that determination of restriping existing parking lots. If it's not changing, like, the pavement, then I think that's where we should be. Go ahead, Lucia.
So I guess my question would be, in this case, it seems like they're going from what are full-size spots to compact spaces. Is that something that the town would then require them to label as compact parking spaces, or how does that work?
I don't think, as to my knowledge, we have no zoning we have no zoning bylaws related to that. So, Matthew, unless I'm wrong, unless somebody knows different information, Matthew, go ahead.
They're required to be grouped together and have signage that indicates they're compact to address that. I'd also, in the past site plans, the parallel plan that's labeled approved by planning board June 2016 was also labeled as, I think, 9/18, and the requirement for zoning is 8/22. In practice, in general, I don't have an objection with the proposal as long as it's actually meeting the zoning guidelines and bylaws of the town. But I don't know if the existing plan actually does based on what we've seen. So I don't know how we want to couch any motion on that.
Andrew,
Paul,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I do have the plan. I'm happy to pull it up and share. I think really the purpose of why we're here is to kind of talk through again, kind of like you said, Rob, the process, and ultimately, again, would be happy to work with town staff. So again, Aniri and John on again any additional signage for the compact spaces, or we could review the sizing of that parallel space with them. But just to be respectful of the board's time and really the client's resources at this point, because we have been in front of you a handful of times. Again, if you would consider a condition of the determination that again we could work with town staff to kind of rectify some of those additional items or detail that you may need.
Yeah, I think for the board, it comes down to like, this is in my opinion, this is like a zoning enforcement officer, and town staff would provide guidance. This isn't,
That is correct, Rob. Zoning inspector or building inspector will play his role in this matter when it comes to signage. When they apply for building permit, if it's required for restriping.
yeah, so I think that's all we basically need to come to a collective. We need to come to, there's going to be I think we probably make a motion.
Chair, before you do that, Vic and
No.
Amna, they both joined us at 7:07.
Thank you. All right, let me just let me read the recommendation. And so in 1.2 of our guidance, let me read the recommendation here. In the principal planner's opinion, restriping the parking lot without changing pavement boundaries or expanding the asphalt has generally been interpreted as not rising to the level of a site plan application, and the current proposal could be considered de minimis. And then it goes on to, under section 210-124 of the Hopkins zoning bylaw, standard parking spaces are required to be 9 feet by 18 feet, while compact spaces may be 8 feet by 16 feet if appropriately designated and grouped. The proposed restriking shows 7 near stalls at approximately 8 feet by 8 feet 10 inches wide, which is slightly below the standard width, but within the compact space dimensions. If the board agrees that these stalls can be designated as compact spaces and the overall restriping does not alter site layout or increase impervious area, the proposal may reasonably be treated as de minimis. If the board believes the dimensional deviation requires further review or formal approval, it may be instead classify the proposal as a minor site plan amendment under 210-134. So that's all we need to determine is, like, as a board, do we feel like restriping an existing parking lot is de minimis as determined here, and all prior, like, this is something that typically would be handled by the zoning enforcement officer to make sure they adhere to the zoning guidelines of the town, zoning bylaws. That'd be my opinion. But if people feel strongly, we can discuss. Go ahead, Lucia.
I think there might be someone for public comment if you're taking that. Someone has their hand up.
Is your name Punky? Would you like to just state your name and address and then go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nancy Draw, and I'm speaking as the chair of the Commission on Disability. I'm not quite sure of the plan of the parking lot that you're talking about. Is that like the one, like where Starbucks is in the Unibank? I was just wondering, what are you talking about? Repaving the whole area and removing handicap spots, or adding more handicap spots, or making them smaller, or what is the plan that you're speaking about?
This is in regards to the parking lot at Starbucks. So the landowner has come before us as a planning board a few times with a proposal to add 4 parking spaces. That plan has altered several times over the courses of these discussions. Now the plan is not to add any parking spaces, but to fundamentally alter the layout of the parking spaces. So there'd be no change in the pavement dimensions. It would be probably using some type of seal coat to cover existing parking lot stripes and restripe parking lot areas. I don't think it changes the dimensions of the handicap space. Andrew, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, again, it doesn't change the size of the current handicap, and we'd be adding an additional accessible space next to the one that's currently there for in front of Starbucks.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That would be really great if you could add another spot, because I know the parking down there is really, difficult anyway, for just regular customers that without handicap placards. But if there are more than 2 people who have handicap placards, and then if you had changed it, I wasn't sure. I heard maybe you were going to change the size so somebody had a wheelchair accessible van, how would they get the wheelchair out? So it sounds like you've got it all under control, and you're not going to make the spaces any smaller. So that's what I was concerned about. But thank you.
No problem.
All right. Is there any other comments or questions for the board, or things they'd like to bring up for discussion? I'll entertain a motion, and then we can ask for discussion about the motion, I guess. So I move that I'd like to entertain a motion that the planning board make the determination that the proposed restriping of existing parking spaces, in addition of 1 ADA compliant parking space at 85 to 89 West Main Street, represent a de minimis change to the previously approved site plan as the work occurs within the existing paved footprint, maintains or improves ADA compliance, and any stall width variations remain within compact space standards. The board further authorizes the applicant to withdraw the current minor site plan application without prejudice.
So moved, with the addition that the applicant work with town staff to ensure proper zoning and bylaw compliance.
Okay.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Michael. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronka,
Yes.
Elise Malowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati.
I just joined late. Am I still allowed to vote?
I think so.
Okay, it's a yes.
All right. Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right. Thank you very much. Andrew, good luck.
Thank you. Do you want us to hang on to request the withdrawal for the?
Do we, what do we need to do in that regards, Aneri?
Andrew, you can send me an email requesting a withdrawal of your application, and then we can move forward with that. So I don't think so you required to be present at that time.
So
I don't know
with
that the board has to do anything.
Yeah. So it's just you send an email, and it's gonna be without.
I just know that we're on the agenda for later this evening. So would we need to continue that hearing and then send the withdrawal request?
Yes, you are on the agenda if board decide as a minor site plans. so we
Do we
can
need to-
continue. But
Do we need to close that public hearing?
I think so. Yeah,
Wait,
and again, or if board have any. Yep, we need to close that.
all right,
Matthew wants.
Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, Rob, I think following on what Andrew was asking though is like, should we be waiting for them to formally withdraw it before we close it though? And so should we continue it tonight and close it
Mhm.
on the next meeting?
So after we receive a formal email from him, we don't need to close it out in the next. It's gonna be voided, but for tonight we need to continue that.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's do that now.
Mhm.
While he's on the, so we're gonna jump to
It's the next item.
next item here, item 2 on our agenda. So I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for 8589 West Main Street to December 1st
Yes.
and extend the decision deadline to December 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Michael. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronka.
Actually, this decision's already due by December 11th, but I guess we have the motion in place. Yes.
Elise Mayalowski.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Michael King.
Yes.
Vikasath Prati.
Sorry. Yes.
All right. Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Amna Dewan.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you all.
All right. Moving on to agenda item 3, 66 Fruit Street, Pinefield Athletic Facility. So for everyone that could make it, we went on a site walk on Saturday. I think that was beneficial. I know I've been to those fields a number of times over the years. But it was good to see the proposed project plan and walk the grounds. So appreciate the applicant and the abutters for being in attendance with us. Maybe from the applicant's point of view, is there anything new you'd like to kick off our discussion with tonight?
Yeah, thank you. So John Lourdes, Director of Parks and Recreation. Speaking on behalf of the application for the Parks and Rec Department. So we have included a couple additional materials. The first one is you guys had asked us for the operational hours of the facility that we are currently doing and planning on doing. So I included those hours, the seasonal dates and times that we use the facility. In addition, on July 22nd of this past summer, at one of our Park and Rec Commission meetings, this project was the main topic, and long story short, the easement was discussed, and I was instructed by the Park and Rec Commission to touch base with the town manager and seek legal counsel to review the easement. And I submitted that letter that is dated August 7th from Harrington and Heap, specifically Anthony Riley, who reviewed the easement and weighed in, ultimately saying that we, Parks and Recreation, can move forward with the project and it does not interfere with JB Sawmill's access. So I just wanted to point that out. And in addition, the first planning board and the site walkthrough, obviously we haven't really discussed the designs yet, but I'd like to revisit a few points. One being the waiver of the EV charger that wasn't really discussed. And really, I'm here just to answer any questions that the board might have about the design. But in terms of new materials, those have been submitted.
All right. Thanks, John. I know we don't have our peer review report back. This is and I'll just kick off my opinion, because this is unusual for us as a planning board. I read the letter from our town council, and and that's obviously, it's great that it's legally allowed, but I have concerns of the safety of the situation. I don't know about the rest of the board. And I think that's the main thing I'd like to hear from the board members about the safety. I've had kids that have played at that Little League field. I've had my parents, my wife's parents, who are now in their 80s, go from wherever we park to Little League fields, and I want to see I think as a town, we need more active recreation areas, and I want to see this happen, but I have concerns about the safety of the situation. So anyone on the board, does anyone want to add any opinions? I'm not really sure I figured there was no better place than just to rip off the Band-Aid and give my opinion to start.
I can go next, or Matthew, you can go next if you want. Up to you. I'll go. So yeah, I kind of agree with what Rob said. Just looking at the decision criteria, I think the crux of my concerns kind of in I and J. I worry about the parking situation where, a little kid like my son who's 5 years old will just, run across the easement if trucks are going by. So that's kind of my main concern as well.
Thanks, Michael. Matthew, go ahead.
Thanks. There's proposed plans on page 5 and 6 that had the parking lot on the same side of the easement as the fields. I was wondering if the applicant might be able to talk to why those were rejected for the final proposal.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. I forgot to mention that I did include some of the alternate designs. In the first meeting, I've said that we've gone through many design plans. One of them is the wooded parking lot. The main concern with that one was the other abutters, that it would be too close to their house and they wouldn't have the barrier between the ball field and the parking lot and their house. In addition, there'd be a number of tree clearings that would have to happen. The grading was a little bit tricky as well. So those main concerns ultimately led to the decision to move to the parking lot on the other side of the easement.
Through the chair,
Vic, go ahead.
John, would you be able to show us the plan just to go through that once again?
Aniri, I know we have in our site packet, our packet of information, we have all the plans, but if someone can bring
Can you see my screen, everyone?
Coming up.
Yes, now
I
we
see
can.
the shared folder now.
Okay, so let me just pull that up. Okay. Can you see my screen?
It's
Ma'am?
loading. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
So that's one design, and that parking lot is just turned 90 degrees essentially. The reason why we didn't go with that one is we wanted to leave more space potentially down the line to the south of that parking lot for potential building later, tennis courts, pickleball courts, things of that nature, a smaller facility. So ultimately we did not go with that design. And yep, you can also see the walking path there as well.
Yes.
Was the original location. That was one of the first changes we made based on the feedback we got from the sawmill.
I just want to look at the current design, which is more what we are going for. So just.
I apologize. I don't know why it's taking too long. Oh, this is the already.
Isn't everything in this file though?
In the share folder, yes, this is the application, the one park and rec. Oh, okay, here we go. Submitted. The design they ended up. There you go. So here is the current design.
That-
Yes.
Yes. That's yep. So John, just wanted to reconfirm. My understanding is that there's a fence around the field just to protect a 6 feet fence is what my understanding. The first one. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah, where the drive, where the easement is, there's a 6-foot fence in addition to a 3-foot timber rail fence as well. So 2 layers of fencing.
2 layers of fencing. Okay, so that way, so the crowd can't stand outside it, and we should be good with that. And right now, the parking lot, whatever we're trying to see, that I mean, I'm just trying to understand where in the section is the easement is what falling off that the trucks would.
So
Okay.
essentially, where the cursor is on the middle of the screen,
Mhm.
right? So there, and then if she goes in here, if you go south,
Mhm.
yep, that's the easement. Exactly right. So you made a point there that people can stand right where she's pointing. The answer to that question is no. We're not permitting fans to stand on the outside of that fence. They'd have to be on the inside of the park.
Thank you.
But there's a 6-foot fence and again the 3-foot timber rail fence there.
Right, because the reason why I was more stressing out on the fence because I know the game very well, so that actually protects both the sides. I mean, if the truck's running around not hitting the ball, or the people trying to catch the ball and not falling off under the running truck, so that's well protected. That's good. The only concern is the easement. What we are looking at it. I mean, if that can be padded as something like a crossroad or something, then that should slow down some trucks. That's how I would look at it. But again. Yeah, and all this, any other wood being, I mean, we're clearing any area, the trees or anything, or we are leaving it like that around the field.
So in general, you know, we're going to do some cleanup. We're going to repair the fence that's currently there on the south side of the project on the Fruit Street side. So whatever clearing would have to happen to repair that fence. But in general, we're not clearing any fences around the ball field. The main clearing would have to be in the parking lot.
Okay. Thanks, John. That's all. I'm good. So no concerns from my end.
Lucia, go ahead.
I echo the safety concerns, and in addition, provision J also talks about the convenience of the parking areas. And in walking the site, it's incredibly inconvenient for a variety of different types of residents when you're talking about parking to where you don't see the fields, going upstairs, going downstairs, crossing a driveway, going upstairs, going all the way around a field in order to get to the stands on the other side of the field. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of feet. I don't know how many, maybe John knows the number, but in terms of convenient, I think it's a very inconvenient parking area. And so I don't know that provision J is something that I think has been addressed.
Thanks, Lucia.
Yeah, okay.
Matthew, go ahead.
Thanks. Down the hill from this, where the parking lot connects, there's the existing soccer field, soccer pitches, and the abutters had posted a video that shows that it's very difficult to park there right now. What's the plan for parking there if we were to build a parking space as proposed?
So this parking lot would be used for, that's called Victory Field there at the bottom, the soccer field as well. So that would help mitigate the issue that we have right now. You know, we've installed the no parking signs on the right-hand side of it, which I think have helped. But by creating this project really helps solve the parking lot, the illegal parking issue that we have. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. So it'd be encouraging people to park in that lot versus what's really hard right now to find space along that area. That's not,
Correct.
board wants to review the other option, old concept, which John submitted this morning.
Yeah, if we could go through this file, this present in
Mhm.
the different proposals over the course of this project, I think would be helpful.
So, yep, this is the first concept.
Yep.
The first one where they didn't like it because it limited future pickleball or tennis court ability to build future tennis courts or pickleball courts,
Mhm.
and the crossing of the easement.
Yep, correct.
Here it looks like it just kind of alters the pathway from the parking lot to the fields.
Correct. Yep. And this is the we call in the quotations the wooded parking lot, where the abutters and the tree clearing was the main issue with this proposal. It also, I believe, is a smaller parking size as well in terms of number of spots.
Yeah. Is there another one, Aniri? I think there might be two more.
Yep.
This is a similar variation of the other one.
Yeah, so there's really two main locations. It's where we currently are looking, maybe a different rotation of it, or this wooded parking lot. Those are the two that the Park and Rec Commission, Gale Associates, myself, basically decided between, and like you said, Robert, of different variations. So again, same location. We asked if we could move it, farther away from the abutters or change the size of it to at least look at other options. Besides the location not being good, it also didn't meet the need for the amount of parking spaces that we would want.
Thanks, Lise. Go ahead.
Can I? Do you mind if I just touch base on this one?
Yes, go ahead.
Because there's a lot of questions of like, building two fields on each side with separate locations. This illustration based on the survey and design showed that there's not enough room there to do a ball field and a parking lot. So this ultimately was scrapped altogether, but the Park and Rec Commission wanted to at least see if this was an option.
All right. Go ahead.
I just want to say I appreciate all the thought and planning that has gone into all of these different plans. But after walking the site over the weekend, my main concerns were that the distance from the parking lot up to the fields is pretty far. I have an 8-year-old, an almost 6-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And I've been to some Little League games. I see the kind of stuff that moms bring to the games, and people usually come with younger children or like seats that they're carrying themselves, or sometimes coolers if they're like the snack mom. So walking all the way from the parking lot up to the top, it seems like a lot if you're trekking all that stuff. So I have a concern about safety of walking. I had a concern about people who might be bringing strollers or wagons. I think I mentioned that. They'd have to walk up that driveway. And then my other concern is that, and I see this happen all over town, parents will get lazy and they will drive up there and just drop off. And they'll drop off their stuff, they'll drop off their kid before they circle back if they have to park too far away. And I feel like that's going to create a traffic obstruction and a problem on that shared driveway right there with the trucks and with other people. I see it happen. I see it happening.
So you think people could potentially form a queue of sorts, and that easement is what you're alluding to, waiting for a game to end or waiting for pick somebody up?
Yes. I mean, it happens at Marathon Elementary daily. I see it at Rhythm Dance every day when I take my daughter. I see it at almost all my kids' activities. So parents, especially in the winter, parents just want to wait in their car for their kid to be done.
I agree with you, Elise, because I personally did the same in other towns when I went to go there. So when the parking was not difficult. So yes.
I especially think at Little League age where the parents want to be in sight of their children.
Well, yeah, if you have equipment too, right? I mean, you're going to drive it up close, so you can drop heavy things off and not have to, carry them from a mile away upstairs too. So.
Anyone else on the board have any thoughts they want to share? Like I said, we don't have the peer review report back. I think one of the things in that was to cover safety. Aneri, do you want to talk about what they might cover on the safety front in that report?
So I talked to a peer corporation who is doing peer review for this project. Somehow they missed the site plan part. So they only provided comments on stormwater. They're going to review the site plan elements. And I mentioned concerns board raised during last hearing and the sidewalk regarding parking, EV charges, and other site plan criteria. So they're going to focus on that and provide their comments to us.
All right, Matthew, go ahead.
Thanks. I think we've got some questions about the people walking back and forth. I wonder if there's an option to mix the two parking lots, because it does seem like there's an issue with people at the football field, the soccer field that's already there. I don't know what that does to the overall cost or plan if there was both a wooded lot for the new stuff and a lot for the football field, soccer field. I do have a question from the DPW comments and the peer review though, which talk about I think DPW suggested was it twice a year, and then the peer review suggested was it every 30 days, sweeping or vacuuming the permeable material. In terms of the maintenance cost and all that, is that something that the town's expecting, I guess, or what are we concerned with the budget for that, given the DPW's comment?
Yeah, so that is a consideration. I'm sorry, was that a question for me?
John, you might be the best one to answer it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so it was a consideration, and I think depending on where this project went, we have two options. One, stick with the proposed pavement plan and come up with a way to budget that, or two, change the type of payment that we wouldn't have to do as much street cleaning. But the maintenance budget would fall under Parks and Recreation and our revolving fund, which would be funded by our user fees. So we would have to take that into consideration if that's needed. So it really depends on where this project goes.
Matthew, do you have another comment? Or?
Yeah, similarly on the suggestions for the EV ready, there was a suggestion to pre-install the piping so that if we increase the electrical being delivered to the field, or the conduits already be there, especially if we're already doing leveling and putting the pavement in place. What does that do to the plan that you have, and is that practical?
Well, the planning board and what I'm going through right now is phase one of this project. Phase two is the funding and the additional funding that is needed. So we have an allocated budget that it does not meet the need for this project. I have a CPC meeting tomorrow. This will be highly discussed, and a lot of my ask for FY27 CPC funds will depend on what the planning board here decides. So if this is a requirement, that would obviously be an additional cost that I would have to ask for that we currently do not have scoped out from Gale. So they would have to go back and come up with additional figures that I would have to ask for. So it could create a big barrier, but obviously understand.
So I'm not sure what to advise at this point. I agree with Lucia's comment of pointing out specifically in like our packet of information. It's 3.7.1 on our agenda, item J. Parking areas shall be designed so that they are safe and convenient and do not detract from the use and enjoyment of proposed structures. Parking areas shall be designed to facilitate safe pedestrian access to the structures and other on-site facilities. I think that's, to boil it down, like, I don't want to speak for the board, but the EV thing, having EV ready spaces or EV spaces, that's a different question. The permeable pavement's a different question. But I think the most important question is the safety, to come up with a plan that the board deems safe. And I don't feel this is a safe plan. Just because if people park in the parking lot, then you're going to have a lot of people crossing that easement. And if people don't use the parking lot, you're going to have almost a worse situation of just congestion on that, what amounts to a driveway. That could also lead to its own safety issues without a proper turnaround. I want the fields to happen, but I don't know how else to advise at this point, other than that's my opinion. Matthew, go ahead.
Would it be practical just past the ADA spots to put a turnaround and a drop-off area? So recognizing that people are going to drive up and down anyway, there'd be a broader area. I don't know that there's a significant change in the traffic if people are dropping people off versus driving up and out during different transitions.
Again, I'm sorry, is that for me?
Yeah, John, has there been any consideration of actually having like a turnaround or designated drop-off area closer to the fields with this proposal?
Yeah,
right now, I think the concern is people would just pull in to the handicap area spots, drop people off, and then try to do either a 3-point turn or if there's enough space, turn around. But was that discussed or considered a real turnaround?
It was discussed, but not in the area that you're talking about. I think we want to avoid that upper area as much as possible, especially because it is the entrance to that the sawmill business. Where we did discuss it is where that small current parking lot is. If you guys were on the site walkthrough on Saturday, down where the porta potty is, there's that sort of round turnabout that we originally had discussed of narrowing that to make it just a driveway, but this discussion happened where maybe we utilize that area as some sort of turning drop-off area, and it would significantly cut down the walk from the parking lot as well. So it was discussed. It was not designed, but that is something we could pursue.
So we're kind of at an unusual point in our I'd say just reviewing a project plan. We don't have the peer review report. We have safety, at least some of us have stated some safety concerns or overall concerns. So without the peer review, we can't like really go through our process to get to a vote. But I think the general, or some of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, but some have raised concerns about the safety of this plan. So I'm not sure how to advise you as the applicant on we can discuss the permeable paver and EV to give you like clear direction on what the board would be okay with in those two topics. But the safety thing, I can take a straw poll if people feel comfortable with this proposal or not. So those are the things I can do. I can take a straw poll if people feel this is a safe, like from a safety point of view, is this a plan they would support? Item J, like as I mentioned, in 3.7.1 of our agenda, I can discuss if they would be willing to waive and do a straw poll for EV readiness, EV ready spaces. And I also can do kind of some type of straw poll on the permeable pavement and what was mentioned by the zoning enforcement the DPW about street sweeping and what that entails. John, would you like us to go through those steps?
I think certainly the EV charger, the permeable pavement, that would be helpful. If you want to wait for the peer review, my understanding is that there's another meeting in December, early December. I'm happy to, come back to that meeting. We can discuss the safety aspects. But I would, if you're up for it, though, to vote on those things would help me at least amend
Where
my
you stand on
application
those things.
for CPC funding. Correct.
All right. Let's talk about EV ready spaces. So we're just going to do a straw poll. So we have 8 members of our board here. So we typically 9, but Parker is absent tonight, but he'd still be able to vote when it actually came to it. So I want to take a straw poll. If you'd be okay, fundamentally, would you be willing to waive EV ready spaces for this project? Yes or no? Willing to waive that requirement? Matthew?
Based on what?
The desire for the town to have these fields.
No, I don't think it's appropriate for us to waive a bylaw requirement just because it's the town versus a private entity.
Okay. Elise Mayalowski.
I echo what Matthew said. I disagree.
All right. Lucia Lopez.
I also disagree, and the pictures that were submitted had a lot of Teslas in them, so that'd be part of my reasoning.
All right, Michael King.
I would be willing to waive the EV one.
Vikasath Prati.
I echo what Matthew says, so I disagree.
Okay. Peter Mimo.
I would not be inclined to waive it. We spent an awful lot of time with the very transitory sort of parking situation Starbucks, and we're willing to do it there. I would imagine there'd be a lot of permanent type parking here or more longer term. So no, I'm not willing to at this point, no.
Amna Dewan.
No, not waiving.
No. All right. I think it comes down to, like, from my point of view, I would say yes, I would, but the town doesn't have unlimited budgets to build their own projects, but the board as a whole would not. All right. The next thing, basically permeable pavement. So I think our DPW director and one of the documents in our packet of information says that there would need to be continual street clearing or even recommended asphalt that's not permeable, but both have pros and cons. Asphalt, obviously rainwater doesn't absorb into the ground the same as a permeable surface. So I think we need to advise, like, would we be okay with would we prefer an asphalt solution or I don't even know how to phrase this, to be honest, a permeable pavement solution, assuming the costs can be handled one way or another. So that's how I'll phrase it. Would you prefer pavement or permeable solution, Matthew?
And we've always been encouraging permeable solutions, ones that have less impact on the surrounding environment. So I think this really comes down to the budget of Parks and Rec and how they can plan it. But like from a design point of view, I think permeable is a better option.
Yeah. Okay. Elise Mayalowski.
For this particular project, I feel like I'm kind of indifferent.
Let's add that as an answer, because I feel the same way. I think it ultimately comes down, this is more of a budgeting, and if the stormwater runoff can handle it, so Elise is kind of indifferent. Lucia.
I don't know if indifferent is the right word, but I'm unsure because it does seem like DPW prefers non-permeable. We do generally, want permeable surfaces, but there would need to be something in place to ensure that it's being cared for properly. And this would be out of, I'm assuming, if not Parks and Rec's budget, then the town's overall budget. So that would need to be accounted for.
Okay, appreciate that. Michael,
I mean, I would err towards permeable just to mitigate some of the rainwater issues we've seen. I don't think it would be super costly to sweep it or power wash it twice a year either, but I guess we can defer to Parks and Rec for that.
Vikasath Prati.
So I just want to say that, we just have to, whether it's town or private, the rules are the rules, and I would just follow that, whatever.
Okay, Peter Mimo.
Permeable.
Amna Dewan.
Quick question before I vote. This field, it's going to generate revenue, correct?
There is going to be usage fees for these fields, yes.
Okay, so then, I mean, I'm assuming that some of the usage fees could go towards maintenance, so I would go for permeable.
All right. I am of the mindset that it would be if you think about it, whatever it costs to have pavement versus permeable and the maintenance, I think it as really a permeable would alleviate stormwater concerns. But if the report came back and there's no stormwater concerns, I would do whatever is the most cost effective for the town. I think for this, I think the board is generally leaning towards a permeable pavement solution, and just the town, in your future discussions, figuring out a plan to cover the cost for a permeable solution. So I think that's the guidance I would give.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Vic.
Amna brought a very good point out here. So on the cost, that some kind of a fee would be usage fee. Any idea how much it is, or maybe John, and how is it regulated?
Yeah, so I don't have the per hour cost of what it would be, but it would be in line with what we charge at other fields. And the revenue gained from these user fees would be directly to cover the maintenance of the grass and, the permeable pavement. Essentially, whatever it costs to run this facility in terms of maintenance, that's how we would calculate the cost. Revenue gained from here wouldn't be used for other facilities or other programs. It would be reinvested directly into this property.
Got it. Maybe a kind of I'm just trying to understand. You said it's per hour cost, so if they can hire it hourly basis.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think it'd be good to take a straw poll from the board, just in terms of the safety of this proposal. Like, I think it's kind of binary. Do you think would you feel comfortable with the safety of this proposal, considering the current design? So I think that's just how I'd like to phrase it. Let's go through our members here. Matthew, what do you think?
I think it solves problems that the field currently has. I don't know that it's necessarily the best option, but looking at the video that's in the folder, right, it highlights how bad the parking is in the soccer fields right now. Adding more spaces is definitely an improvement. Elise raises some good points though, and having a way of mitigating that, I think, would make this a lot easier.
Okay. Elise, I think you stated your position, but if you could just restate it.
I do not think that the way it currently is proposed is safe. I think it is not safe currently.
Okay. Lucia.
I agree with Elise.
Okay. Michael King.
Yeah, I said that when I first spoke, just based on the decision criteria, points I and J, I don't think it meets that criteria. So I would say it's not safe and vote against it now.
Vic.
Not safe.
Peter.
I echo Matt's position. I say safe.
Amna.
Safe.
All right. I'm of the camp that I don't think this is the best plan for the town. That is, I would say it's not a safe plan. So that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 not safe, I think, and 3 that were okay with it. That's, I think, where we are as a board.
May I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
If we hypothetically move the parking lot so they wouldn't have to cross over the easement, is that the main concern?
The 2 main safety concerns I have are crossing of the easement and then cars either queuing on the easement or parking on the easement as just like, so I have twin boys that are 15, so they're past little league age, but EMC Park, every time there's little league games for years, people park along the driveway. They've put so many signs. They started towing cars back when my boys would play, and like all you would have to do is park over at Marathon School, and it's way closer than this situation, and people didn't know. And like, I think there'd be those situations. I think there'd be people crossing the easement, but I think the bigger concern would be people not even wanting to cross the easement. So they're going to try to find a way that's not authorized to park or queue in that. And that like, I'm not only speaking for myself, but that would be my take. Matthew, go ahead.
Rob, what do you mean by queuing? Do you mean just standing there waiting for things to happen? Because I mean, if you
No, I mean that the parent or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, husband, wife would be picking somebody up. So whether it's a parent or picking a kid up or an adult up, they would basically stay in their car and be within visibility of the fields. So the other person that's playing would know that they're there. So they would stay in their car and just the car would be in some way in the easement.
So you're concerned, but I mean, there's nothing that prevents cars from being in the easement. I think the concern is whether they're stopping or parking.
Well, they're gonna queue there and wait. That's what my concern
queuing
is.
For what is I'm asking. So if they have a parking lot that's next to the field,
to the practice ends.
So if there's a parking lot in the wooded area there that goes closer to the other abutters, the houses that are there, et cetera, like you're still gonna have cars coming up and down the road. So there's going to be cars queuing to get into the parking lot and then to leave. Is that follow your objection, or is it just you don't want somebody standing there?
So my boys are in high school. So if I go to Hopkins High School to pick them up at the end of the school day, there's a queue of cars to get to the main entrance. Queue of cars waiting to pick up their son or daughter. That's my fundamental concern. There'll be a queue of cars when a sporting event will end, whether it's baseball or cricket, and they'll be there narrowing that easement. So cars will be coming up to add more traffic there. But there'll be cars stationary for a period of time. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, but it's not just crossing the road. My concern is both.
But if there were a parking lot that were on that side, it'd be less likely that there'd be a lot of cars just waiting there, right? They'd go to the parking lot and wait.
Yeah, especially if they had visibility. I think for a parent with like a 7-year-old to a 12-year-old, the visibility is a big thing. People want to be able to see. They want their kid to be able to see them so they know to come to the car when the practice
I mean, if ends. You know where the parking lot is, you just say, come to the parking lot and look. Like the Fruit Street Fields, just on the other side, right? The parking lot's all in one area. You can't see anything in the far side of the grass fields.
Well, in that scenario, people in the parking lot, they park their car and the parent walks to the side of the field. Elise, go ahead.
Through the chair, just to respond to John's question, if the parking lot did not cross the easement and it were close to the field, I think, in my opinion, my safety issues would be eliminated, or at least much lower.
Lucia, go ahead.
So one of the things that I think maybe I understand differently is when we're talking about the pictures that have been submitted and people parking where they shouldn't be parking. I believe at least one of the pictures that was submitted shows what I thought when I went there for soccer was a parking lot where the gate is that we walked past to get to where the proposed parking lot will be. So that we used as a parking lot. And it looked from the picture that I saw that was fairly empty to where people who parked along the no parking side could have parked there, but chose to park along the no parking side because it's closer to the field. So even though there's space that's right there, that's available because there were spots open, they choose to park as close to the fields as they can get. And so I think if you have enough parking that's close to the fields, that isn't going to then encourage people to, park along the side of the easement, I think that would solve some of those problems. Personally, I think that the lot at the end is close enough that I often parked there rather than parking where you're not supposed to park. So I'm not sure why that's not happening based on the pictures that we got. But I don't know that a parking lot, as Matthew suggested, where it's proposed would solve that problem. Because if there's already space down there for people to park and they're choosing not to park there and are instead parking along the easement, putting a parking lot farther away, I don't think is going to encourage people to park in that parking lot and not park along the no parking easement side.
Thanks, Lucia. John, at this point, is there any other guidance we can provide that would be helpful?
No, I think this is helpful. My next steps will be to have a discussion with the Park and Rec Commission. I know a member is on right now, so we'll see where this goes, and then I guess wait to hear from the peer review as well. But I hear the concerns of the board. Thank you.
All right, Aniri, do we need to continue this to our next meeting?
Yes.
Do we need to continue a decision deadline or just the public hearing?
Just a public hearing. We are good for decision deadline.
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for 66 Fruit Street, Pine Fields to December 1st.
Does that work for the applicant?
That's a Monday. Yes, it does. Thank you.
So moved.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Michael. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronka,
Yes.
Elise Smayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vic South Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Rob Ensign is a yes. All right, thanks. I hope there's a silver, I don't know what the right term is, but there's a plan to be had that is perfect.
Thank you.
All right, good. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right. Item 3, maybe it's 4. No, yeah, 4 on our agenda. New public hearing, 11 North Mill Street, Scenic Road hearing. Who's gonna? We need to open the public hearing. Matthew, do you have something first, or?
No, I was going to move to open the new public hearing, 11
Go
North
ahead. Go ahead.
Mill Street, Scenic Road, hearing GTKW LLC.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Michael. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronka,
Yes.
Elise Smayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vic South Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. All right. Do we have the applicant on?
So yes, we have Chuck here to represent 11 North Mill Street.
All right. Mr. Joseph, would you like to give us an overview of what you want to get done here?
Sure. It's we want to connect to the electric line underground to the pole that's in front of the lot. There's a stone wall. I think I forwarded some photographs. I don't know if you guys have gotten them or not. It's pretty much moving like 4 stones, connecting it and then moving them back. It's not an elaborate stone wall. It's one that's deteriorated over many years, but there are some stones there, and it's a scenic road, so this is what's required.
All right. Aniri, do you have any, from a town staff point of view, do you have any additional commentary?
Nope, not on this.
Does anyone on the board have any questions or comments before we get going?
Just to the chair, in light of the condition of the stones, how realistic is it that they will be restored to their original condition? Are there any concerns that they can't be? I'm just curious.
Looking at the pictures, I think it's like a free play stone wall. I don't think there's any, at least my expectation is it's not like going to be a picture perfect carbon copy, but as long as the stones are put back to continue the stone wall, like that's would be my expectation. And if anyone thinks differently, now we can discuss. All right. Does anybody want me to read? Do I need to read I don't need to read the decision criteria, do I, Neri?
No, that's fine.
All right. Is everybody good with the decision criteria? And I'll go right into read the proposed findings and the proposed conditions.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Section 4.8, proposed findings. Let me put this directly in front of me. The proposed project involves the temporary removal and replacement of approximately 5 feet of existing stone wall to allow installation of electrical connection for a new single-family home. The proposed work conforms to the provisions of Chapter 160 in that all applicable criteria and standards set forth in Section 160-6 have been satisfied. Proposed conditions. The applicant shall provide photographs in the area of the alteration after work has been completed. These photographs shall be submitted to the principal planner for review and approval. The applicant developer shall provide the principal planner with a project point of contact and contact information prior to the issuance of a building permit. This point of contact information shall be kept current through correspondence to the principal planner until work is considered complete. The applicant shall reconstruct the stone wall to match its original height, alignment, and appearance. Original stones shall be reused to the maximum extent practicable. However, if the replacement stones are needed, they shall be similar in size, shape, and character to the existing stones to ensure a consistent appearance. All right. I'm gonna, I'd like to, this is a little different than, I think this is a little different than John used to do it, but just bear with me. I'd like to entertain a motion that the board accept and approve the findings as previously read aloud by the chair.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Michael. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Robert Benson is a yes. All right. This is the overall approval or denial of the plan. So I'd like to entertain a motion that the board approve the scenic road permit, which with the following conditions as they were previously read aloud by the chair.
I move that the board approve the scenic road permit with the conditions as they were previously read aloud by the chair.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Peter. All right, roll call vote. Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right, Chuck, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the board.
Thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing for 11 North Mill Street Scenic Road hearing.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Matthew. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Robert Benson is a yes. All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn for this evening.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, who moved? Who second?
I think
Michael and
went
Vic.
first. Yeah. All right. Roll call vote. Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
and Robert Benson is a yes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank